All right, it's Saturday. It's Freeform Rock Podcast on YouTube. Like, share, and spread those ass cheeks like Nutella on bread. But what's up, Charles, man?
What's going on, man? Jerry's got some plans today, so we're gonna have to rip the video on our own here.
Yeah, he'll be back next week. So every other week, he said he might not do a video. And if we both don't do it, I'll just hit up Lee. What's up, Lee?
Yeah.
So I want to keep it
Hey,
going.
for the folks at home, and we can do Led Zeppelin 3 on our show too, Mark. I mean, I can talk about Led Zeppelin anytime. I think people have me a little fucked up. I do enjoy Led Zeppelin more than Oasis. Totally. I mean, I put them right below the Beatles.
Damn.
It's fantastic fucking bands, and that was a fun review. But I would do I hold Led Zeppelin 3 high up on my list because it's so like kind of out there for them. It's a little folky and it's different. But I don't think there's a bad Led Zeppelin
Got
album.
the immigrant song on there, man.
Holy fuck! And
God dang.
Celebration Day,
That's like fucking metal immigrant song.
Celebration Day, dude.
Gallows Pool?
Oh, I just
Gallows
don't
Pool
like Hats
fucking
Off
rules.
to Roy Harper. That's the
No, I
only
don't like
track.
that one either.
Yeah, it's lame. I don't know what they thought with that one, but the rest of it is fantastic. I love In Through the Outdoor. I love Hot Dog. I don't care. I ain't gonna hide from it. Carouselambra. What a fucking jam that is. And I love Zeppelin, period. They're one
I
of my
think
favorite groups,
I think we
period.
only did Presents and two. I don't
I even
remember.
like some of the songs on Coda.
I do like some of the songs on Coda. I did get that extended version because it had traveling Riverside Blues and shit on there. Uh
Wearing and Tearing, man.
yeah, that's a good one.
What a great song.
I don't like Hot Dog though, man.
Well, I mean, that's some people don't.
I
I get
love
it.
Elvis.
I
Every
like
time they
that
try to
Elvis.
do Elvis, they suck.
Well, but Lee liked the crunge, and he also loves My World, so I can't help you with
I don't
that.
like the crunch and I don't like hot dog. There you go. See?
I read an interesting story today, though, about Axl Rose. You know what song he regretted writing?
What?
The one I hate
What's that? I forgot.
off Use Your Illusion 2, Not My World.
Get in a ring?
Get in the ring. He regretted writing Get in the Ring.
Well, he was a snot-nosed motherfucker back then. That was cool.
Not one in a million. He don't regret that, but he regrets getting the ring. And you know what? I agree with him. The worst song on the record.
I like that song.
Nah,
Get in the ring, motherfucker. Kick a bitch your little ass. I just like
nah.
his raw and vigor. It's like punkish, man. I like that shit.
And
He's
Shotgun
just,
Blues wasn't much better.
I don't know if I like that. I don't remember now.
No, I don't think he cared for it.
Nah.
I mean, if you're gonna call Vince Neil, do it. What do you think about this Guns N' Roses Motley Crue shenanigans that we talked
Oh
about a
yeah.
little bit from the video the other day?
What that they that Nikki
Nikki
Sixx
Six.
says if they went on tour, they would rule the world. Uh, I think you would. Guns N' Roses would have to close every night. He's snot nosed little punk because Guns N' Roses is way better than you live, and I think they don't need you. They fill out stadiums without having an opening act. Nobody knows. They had Wolfgang Van Halen. That's not bad, but it's not
No,
like a
that's cool.
big name.
Yeah, they haven't done it completely on their own, but they're not doing like we got Nine Arm, we got Poison, we got
Kiss,
Joan Jett, which I love Joan Jett.
Kiss. Remember they
Poor
had
thing,
Kiss.
poor thing that she
Yeah.
got stuck on that American leg of that tour. But yeah, no, no. As far as I know, Axel has never been like, yeah, I'm cool with Motley Crue. No, I
I
don't. I don't think. he's not the type that lets shit go. I don't think.
You know what tour would rule the world? Nikki Six is way off this, but he's got half of it right. Guns N' Roses with Metallica again.
Yeah, again. But then it would still be the same old though, because Axel will be like, we gotta close out the show, and it would be
Then
cool
they
in an
switched.
alternative
I thought they
universe.
switched.
But I'm telling you, with Judas Priest added to this power trip or whatever it's called, that might be a lot more interesting than it was before.
I've seen Judas Priest like 3 times in the last 6 years. Like, and every time is better, man.
Judas
Like, yeah,
Priest rules. But I
Richie
mean,
Faulkner
everybody's saying
rules.
GNR should change with this group, and they're not going to. They're going to want Maiden underneath them on the bill as a revenge thing. Is Axel spiteful like that? Just that way. Then Iron Maiden kicked them off that tour in those early days, and Axel never forgot it. So yeah, it probably should be GNR and AC/DC. Could you imagine that crossover? Axel coming out doing some fucking old school Bon Scott shit, and this and that'd
I
be
would have
awesome.
loved to heard an Axel DC album. I'm with you guys, but
Oh,
like just do it
totally.
as a one-off and then have Brian Johnson come in and make another album
Just
with him.
or
Because
just give
Power
us
Up was a great album, man.
just give us a live album
Oh,
from
live
that
album would be
shit,
awesome.
because I mean people dog on Axel a lot, and I get it. I mean I can't stand behind everything Axel Rose has ever done, but he sounded phenomenal with them because he can do the Brian and the Bond songs, which I love Brian, but he can't quite do the Bond songs in the way that, Bond did it, but Axel can. And they didn't have to drop tuning. They were in standard tuning, which was traditional AC/DC. So it would be awesome, but it's going to stay the way the lineup will stay the way it is. I would love to go just the whole thing, but I know it's mad expensive and all that. But it'd be cool now because Ozzy, I don't want to see him in a wheelchair.
No, I don't want to
No,
see him in a wheelchair
I don't
either.
want to see him like that. I would rather see Judas Priest. I was only fortunate to see Ozzy with Black Sabbath. Never saw him on his own, but I saw him with the full Black Sabbath lineup, and that was like earth moving to me. It was awesome. So that's what I prefer to remember, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Do you remember the rock documentary that I said was pretty cool?
I just saw an article about it today because of the Vixen girl
Yeah, the
was on
Vixen
it.
Girl. I put the Vixen Girl, but that was pretty cool. It had a lot of people's enemy in there, Ricky Rackman, but Ricky
Nah,
Rackman told some good stories. He also had Kip Winger showing him do like classical music and how Beavis and Butthead took them out, and stuff like that. When he played with
yeah,
Alice Cooper, dude, and he left Alice Cooper and said, "Man, I got to go do my own thing because a sideman is always a sideman." And he goes, if I stay here, but we're going to go on this huge tour. And he goes, I don't want to be a sideman. So he created Winger. That's
yeah,
pretty damn cool, man. And then he fucking did something out of his box, did the fucking classical music. He almost won a Grammy for that. It's pretty
I,
cool.
I, I understand that. On the great Lee Gersman show, myself and Lee reviewed one. I don't know how many classical albums he had, but we did one, and I was really blown away. And I'm not a classical music. A lot of times when we do those type of shows with Lee, Mark, or myself, I don't know what the fuck is going on because I don't get off on classical music and shit
I
like
know.
that. But it
But you do
sounded,
like John Williams. So
but well, yeah, but it sounded really, really good for me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a classical guru, but it sounded really good to me. And the dude's talented. But what screwed him was they did that video for 17 and he wore that little rinky dink wife beater
I
and
just
the
hate
chicks
it
were,
because people
but
back
let's
there
be
were so
honest. the record company was like, "Oh, he's cute," and the chicks dig him, and then that's what it became.
He talks about how he became the cover model, of the
Yeah,
band, and it was okay as long as he got to rock, as long as he got to
it's,
do his thing. He was okay with
I
it.
mean, he was as bad as Paul Stanley with that bass in those videos. I
But the
mean, even
dude,
Paul
the
Stanley playing
dude can
guitar.
play bass, man.
He
The-
can. I'm not knocking his ability. I'm not knocking the band's ability. But they became more about Kip Winger and his looks and this and that. And that's what. And that second album is horrible, dude. In
I
my
I
opinion,
like it. I like it.
can't get enough.
They got way
Uh,
the new album is way better than up to the first album or
oh, I
full.
know a lot of people are into it, and that's cool. But they're definitely talented. I'm not. They were way more talented than say Poison
Oh, I agree.
or or even Bon Scuzzy or
That
most
solo
of these.
unheaded on a heartbreak, man. Headed for
Reb
heartbreak.
Beach is a great guitarist. Definitely
Fuck yeah.
talented. I'll throw them a step ahead of your favorite, one of your favorites, Extreme. But they
I
got
put Nuno
sold
and
on
him up
image.
there together, man.
But they got sold on image. And that's just it was an unfortunate thing. And Kurt Cobain was sitting there rubbing his hands like, yes. And then knock Nirvana all you want, but I mean that's just the way it was. I
Well,
mean, they came out and people lost their shit, but you know what? It wasn't Teen Spirit for me, and it wasn't even Come as You Are. I was like, yeah, I like Teen Spirit. Come as You Are, I'm still not that
I
big of a
like I
fan of.
like those songs. When it came out, I love that
Lithium,
album.
Lithium is the one that hooked me.
I
I
just
was like,
evolved.
yeah, and I love In Utero, but yeah, he offed himself and all that, and that's sad.
Yeah, that album was
But
going the fuck down before he died. Nobody was liking them
well,
on In
I still
Utero.
think the unplugged or an unplugged is fantastic though.
Oh, we talked about that on the BS sessions.
Yeah, I was the only one to pick them as a winner, but by a hair. I mean, Alice in Chains unplugged is great, but we gotta redo that because Brian Adams. Well, you got to go through some dog albums. You got to. I mean, somebody's going to get slaughtered.
I saw Vixen had an unplugged album. It's Poison that one. Vixen
I mean,
against Poison.
Tesla's 5-man acoustic is not an official unplugged, but it was unplugged.
Oh yeah, they were part of that trend, man.
But against Kiss, I
Yeah,
don't
that's when all
know.
your nerds just went.
Kiss unplugged was fantastic. It was
Because
fantastic.
why? Because Peter, Chris, and Ace Frehley came out.
But what about
What if they didn't come out? Would it still be good?
yeah, it was good. It was well played. Very
So
well played.
if Ace and Peter didn't show up, would it be as spectacular as everybody likes it now?
Maybe to some not, but I'm giving Kulik and the fucking ultimate scab Eric Singer credit. I mean, I think
I love
the playing
Kulik.
before that was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. They had a lot of fucking practice. They've been playing unplugged on the convention tour previous to that, but they played really well. It blew a lot of people's mind. But against Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, I don't know. We'll see, those unplugged battles could be a lot more interesting.
Dude,
Don't hold Brian Adams against us, folks. We just had to go through some dogs.
I agree that Brian Adams was like he didn't have the best songs on there. It's why he fucked up. He didn't have Run
Yeah,
to You and all his hits, Cuts Like a Knife. It's like, what the fuck,
yeah, I would
dude?
have loved Summer '69.
Summer 69, what the fuck, Brian? I know you're trying to promote your new album, dude, but man, this album would have been a classic if you put on those classic songs from Reckless and Cuts Like a Knife and the first album on there.
Yeah,
Fuck.
and I'm not a massive Clapton fan, but yeah, it smoked
Neither
it.
am I. I love
Unfortunately.
I love Brian Adams. I like his last album. His tour is doing fucking well with Joan Jett opening.
Yeah,
Dude, it looks good. People, my friends are posting videos of them seeing him live, and I go, Fuck, he was playing at the Forum.
Here's here's another sleeper unplugged, which per Alex Coletti, the executive producer of Unplugged, was truly the most unplugged album ever. Paul McCartney's Unplugged.
Well, that was a good one though.
Because he didn't even use the electroacoustics.
Does he
He
have an
used
album for that?
Yes, he does.
Ooh,
It's fantastic.
I need to get that so I can play it on thatmetalstation.com.
Yeah. Hit up Mr. X.
Oh, I am Mr. X now, dude.
It's got Every Night on it. It's got oh, it's fantastic. And the point was like Kurt Cobain had a little pedal, and he was still playing a little electric-y. And even Kiss, they were using electroacoustics on that album. Paul's was straight acoustic, microphones up to the guitar. There was no gimmickry at all. It was just straight acoustic. And Paul even plays drums on one of the tracks. And let's Hamish Stewart. This was Flowers in the Dirt, Off the Ground era.
I saw that tour, Flowers in the Dirt.
Yeah, he let Hamish Stewart sing "Ain't No Sunshine Till She's Gone," and McCartney played drums on it, and it's fantastic. Great unplugged album.
Yeah,
I'll tell you which one was not good. Lawrence Hill. Really
I never even
bad.
heard of that one.
Lauryn Hill from the Fugees.
Oh, I don't like Lauryn Hill.
No, it's terrible. It's pretty much considered
That
the
only
worst.
album she has, right?
Well, yeah, the miseducation of Lauren.
Yeah,
But Paul
everybody
McCartney
think that
actually called her
everybody
Lawrence
sucks that album's
Hill.
dick. I don't like it. I like the Fugees better than her.
I don't even care for that.
I like
She's got a nice
Fergie. I like
voice,
Fergie though.
Whatever.
Fergie's hot.
I like Belinda Carlisle.
I like Susanna Hoffs.
I think
Linda
she's coming near you soon.
Linda Carter. Oh,
Belinda Carlisle.
Belinda, probably. I don't have money, dude. We're broke.
She gets weak.
Yeah. Hey man, what do you
when
think of this band?
I can't see who it is.
It's Stray Cats album Rant and Rave.
I like them. I do like them, but I like me some rockabilly. But in the end, though, it gets kind of tedious after a while.
Don't you think Brian Setzer's solo is really good though?
I like the
Orchestra,
Brian
dude.
Setzer Orchestra a
Fuck
lot,
yeah.
and he's a
That's
great
way
guitar
better than
player.
Siberian X.
Well, I would never. You couldn't pay me to go see Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
I'd rather see Brian Setzer do his Christmas stuff than them, right?
As fancy schmancy as I get is Ghost. He was just reviewed. I don't typically go for that style, but I do like them, and I love Pink Floyd in their proggy era. But Trans-Siberian is not for me.
I go, you guys dropping acid while seeing that show? Because I could see that with all the lights and lasers.
Yeah,
you guys are seeing.
That's like going to watch Dragon Force, something like that. Yeah. Great playing, no doubt.
Hey,
not for me. I'm more of a punkish type of dude. I always like get to the point, rip it. I don't care if it sounds great, just fucking sing it and get it over with. That's my style. Typically, I do like a little fancy schmancy. I mean, my favorite group's the Beatles, and they excelled at fancy schmancy. But I also love the Sex Pistols and the Clash and bands like that. So
I like the Clash,
and they just get to the point.
Talking
Suicidal
Heads.
Tendencies, great hardcore band. Suicidal Tendencies.
Fuck yeah.
Henry Rollins band.
Yeah, I like Henry Rollins. I don't like what's that band?
Black
Misfits.
Flag.
I don't like
great.
Misfits. Oh, I like Black Flag. I don't like Misfits. I don't like Danzig.
Oh, I love Danzig. He didn't sound like Danzig in the Misfits, though.
Yeah, and like I like
to me.
the Henry Rollins one, Black Flag, better.
Um, I love the Dead Boys, and um, I do dig the Ramones,
Love the Ramones, man.
but
We've never done a Ramones episode yet, man.
I dig them, but I think they're like the AC/DC of punk, though. I love AC/DC, but where I mean that is like every song sounds the same.
But it's like
It's the
the
same
Sex Pistols got
thing
inspired by the Ramones, so man.
and over and over again. I mean, they were the prototype, little same to me.
Hey man,
I mean, the Clash could do some Train in Vain.
yeah,
I don't know if the Ramones could do a song like that, but the Ramones were phenomenal. I don't mean it disrespecting them.
they
They
inspired the
set the
Clash and
template.
Sex Pistols, man.
Exactly. They set the template. Well, I mean, the New York Dolls might have did it before the Ramones, but whatever.
That first album was an anniversary yesterday, New York Dolls. I put it up.
I love it. Absolutely love it. But and I really do believe Kiss in the early days was slightly punkish, just a little bit, not completely, but a little bit. They moved on to other things, but I think in the beginning they were kind of on that tip, and they could play a little better than New York Dolls.
Yeah.
Ace Frehley, in particular, I think he's the one that saved them on that. But they were kind of punkish in the beginning too, a little bit, just slight.
I
Just a
like all
wee
the
bit.
Kiss albums in the 70s, even Dynasty. So, except
Oh,
wasn't Elder 80? When was
yes.
Unmasked?
No, Unmasked was 80.
Okay, so I didn't like anything after.
Elder was 81 or
Okay, so
82.
I like everything the Kiss did in the
81.
70s. 70s.
Well,
So,
I don't like Peter Chris's solo album. I never,
oh yeah, yeah, right on that. I'm talking about
and I
band
love Peter
albums,
Chris, but I don't like
not the
his album.
solo albums.
And Gene's album is rather weak.
Yeah,
I do like a
I
couple
haven't
songs.
heard it yet, dude. I've only heard the Ace one because it's good.
You
But
won't like it. You won't like
I
it.
have them. I own
You will
them.
not like it. It's got some disco tracks. You won't like Gene's. I'm already predicting it. But he does have a couple Beatle-esque songs that you might like.
We need to
But
do a review
it's
on this on
disco
the
songs.
podcast. Those Kiss episodes. Woo, damn.
Yeah, they blow up. But
We're almost at 300.
Paul Stanley's is okay, but it seems like the songs weren't quite finished for the most part. Ace Free, I disagree with Jerry. He says Aces is the best Kiss album ever. It's a great album, and I count it as a Kiss album. I count all those solo albums as Kiss albums because they have Kiss on the title. But Alive, nothing touches Alive, and that's as live as me. It's not a live album. It was made in the studio. It's fantastic. And then after that, we reviewed that last year.
No hard
Rock and
play.
Roll Over
Rock and roll over, yeah.
is fantastic. Dress to
Great
Kill,
album.
fantastic. Uh, Hotter Than Hell is great. Destroyer is my least favorite, but that doesn't mean I hate it.
Yeah, we could also redo Creatures of the Night because I had no co-host on it. I had some girl.
80s album, one of their best 80s albums. A shade under Lick It Up, though.
Animalize.
Mm, Heaven's on Fire rules.
Yeah, but what's the other album? Asylum? Is it Asylum?
I love Asylum.
Lick It Up.
Asylum's good. Lick It
Yeah,
Up, I think, is their best in the 80s.
yeah.
Even though I hate All Hell's Breaking Loose.
Oh, I love that song.
But
Spoiler alert.
I only hate part of All Hell's Breaking Loose. I just hate the Paul rapping. But the chorus is great. The music's phenomenal. But what be this and what be that? I just hate it. But I mean, I love the actual chorus. The music is fantastic. I love the title track. I
I
love the
love
song
Lick
Lick
It
It
Up.
Up. And then Fits Like a Glove and uh Young and Wasted. Oh, Gene was on fire on that album. But after that though, it's really hit and miss. Animalize for the most part sucks. Asylum is better, I think. We did Crazy Nights.
Yeah.
Hot in the Shade,
We could redo that one too.
Revenge.
We've never done Revenge.
But I love Carnival of Souls.
We haven't done that at all.
And I love Psycho Circus,
We haven't done that either. Or Monster.
which is which is a scab album. Well, of course, Monster is, but Psycho Circus is a scab album, and they lied and said it was a real deal Kiss album, but it wasn't. But I mean, I don't love. Actually, let me rephrase that. I don't love Psycho Circus, but I do like it more than I don't. And that's got Tommy Thayer on it. So what the fuck? But I do like it. The title track, Psycho Circus, what a great song to me. It's really good. And but it's been hit and miss to me after Licking Up. It's like, well, Crazy Nights. Holy shit.
They had the
That's PTSD.
whoa, lick it up.
Hysteria is better than Crazy Nights.
You're right on that one. I agree on that one.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna fucking lie.
I just read that Love Bites became an unexpected hit for Def Leppard, and they had to learn how to play that in the middle of the tour of Hysteria. And I was going, that's pretty damn cool. They didn't know how to play it. They were caught with their trousers down.
As I've said before, dude, I mean, Hysteria is not my cup of tea. And anything after that has just been worse.
One of our best episodes ever. Sorry, Jerry, you weren't on there.
But I had it at the time. I listened to it a lot, trying to like it. I know the songs like the back of my hand because of listening to it over and over again. I get why some people like it. I will say that. It's not Def Leppard to me. And yes, folks that are watching the video, yes, I make fun of Rick Allen. It's probably mean. I do actually, and I think I've said it before, I do respect Joe Elliott, Phil, Steve Clark, not so much Vivian, he wasn't in the group then, and Sav for standing by their brother. And I do think it's cool that he is playing with one arm. I do think it's really cool and that they stood by him. I remember when I heard it on the radio, I heard this shit on the radio. They announced he lost his arm in like 1984 I don't remember, but I heard on the radio and I was bummed out for real. So don't take me too serious. I'm making fun of old Rick Allen. Because remember, he beat up a woman with one arm. But
that was funny because Mark and Brian, their radio show hosts here in the morning, they're in the Radio Hall of Fame now. Mark and Brian in the mornings on KLOS 95.5, and they would do like, oh, we got footage of Rick Allen. He hits her with a right, and he hits her with another right, and he hits her with the right, and he uppercuts with the right.
but the
at the airport incident, remember the airport incident?
I hear you. But I make jokes about them a lot, but
right,
I don't like their music after Pyromania at all. But I do actually highly respect the band for sticking by Rick Allen for that. I actually do.
You know, they tried to stick by Rick Willis also.
Pete Willis.
Pete
I don't
Willis,
know who Rick Willis.
I got Rick Savage mixed up with Pete. But Pete Willis, they tried to stand by him, and Pete Willis has always said he thanks the band for giving him writing credits on Pyromania because that set him up for life.
He played on some of the Pyromania a little bit.
But they gave him writing credit when he actually didn't write.
He did write some stuff on that.
He said he didn't. I just whatever.
No, he did. I mean, whichever. I mean, I don't care about Pete Willis as much. I mean, I do love him, and I think he was a better guitar player than Phil Collins, but whichever. But they stood by their brother, and I respect that. Even if I make fun of them.
Yep.
But I do respect the fact that they stood by him, even though that music sucked. But God bless you, Def Leppard, for that.
You know,
you made shitty music, but you stood by your brother.
Well, I don't think they made shitty music. I even like X.
You and all the soccer moms who agree.
Soccer moms. There was more than soccer moms when I saw that stadium tour with boobs going out. Those were pretty young chicks.
Really?
But that documentary is called I Want to Rock. I think it's 3 episodes. It has one girl in there who Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses screwed over, Vicky Hamilton, their first manager.
Yeah, no, yeah.
What do you have to talk about her, man?
She knew what she was getting into, especially with GNR. And I mean, Motley Crue was not like stand-up dudes either. Izzy was fucking pimping hoes and selling drugs. They had to keep him away from Tyler and Perry from Aerosmith back in the day when they toured together. I don't even know how they pulled that off. She knew what she was getting in. I don't necessarily feel sorry for her. But I know of her. She's always on anything with GNR, crying about how they ruined her apartment. Didn't they tear up her apartment?
She still has a table where they left a cigarette burn on it. That was in that thing I Want to Rock, which shows the table. She still owns that GNR. They're the ones that burned her coffee table.
I mean, I totally respect GNR more than Motley Crue, but Motley Crue wasn't far behind in those days with Guns N' Roses as far as just stay clear. If you have like any common sense, stay clear. Motley Crue wasn't far behind in GNR in that regard. GNR was living in a storage unit, dude. At one point, they were living in a storage unit.
And then they called and said, "Can we come live with you, Vicky Hamilton?" They let her in. I think it was Slash who called her.
Yes. They were the real. That's why I love early GNR. I don't necessarily love them from the Illusions on because then they got goofy.
You like Chinese.
Oh, I love that album, but that was
Axl.
To be honest, that was Scab's Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
It wasn't anybody but Axl. But love the album. But I mean the Illusions era, they became millionaires. But in the Appetite era, they were street dudes. That shit was authentic, man. It was real. They were really fucking scraping. Izzy dealing drugs and pimping chicks, and Axl's fucking living in the store. He was living outside the Guitar Center at one point, too. I mean, they were just struggling, but making it go. And it came through in the music. That's why that album is phenomenal. Well, definitely one of the greatest albums of the 80s.
Well, Vicky Hamilton also said that she paid for their instruments. She paid for this.
Oh, yeah.
She sued them and won, so she got it recouped her money from Geffen and half from Guns N' Roses.
They lived they lived off hookers.
Yeah.
And strippers, and they just. But what a band at that point! I would still go see GNR today if I didn't have to pay top coin.
I would too, dude.
Yeah.
And I saw 2 bad shows. I would still go.
It still doesn't touch that original lineup and that Danger. Now they're all.
If they get Izzy, if they ever got Izzy back, they would rule the world.
Well, I mean, and unfortunately, if Adler could still play like he
Yeah,
used,
Adler
but
can't
he
play that
can't.
good.
No, he can't play like he used to.
That
Them
that
speedballs.
the Steve dude plays drums pretty good. What's his name?
He's okay. He's like a mix between Sorum and Adler. He's like in the middle.
Hmm.
He's not quite as good as Adler. You don't have quite the feel, but he's not as robotic as Sorum.
You know that
But
this that Vicky
but I don't
Hamilton.
think Sorum's that bad either. By the way, I'm of the. I think Sorum gets scapegoated too much,
Mhm.
and I think he was pretty much told what to
What to
play.
play. Exactly,
Yeah.
because you heard him in Velvet Revolver, right?
Yes, in the cult,
And the
and
Colt. Yeah, he's
you
really
could be
good.
mine. You could be mine. Steven Adler could never play that.
No.
Like, and that was all drumming in
They
the
call him a
beginning.
drum machine, but kind of isn't that a good thing? Because he could play what they need to
It
play.
it should be, but I do get that point. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying I get that point. Adler had a feel with Duff, especially in that rhythm section, that was off the charts. That I'm not trying to make fun of your poison, but I mean, Rocket and Doll did not have that.
No.
Nikki Six can't play bass.
Velvet Revolver, those two albums, the rhythm was like
That was great,
with
but that was
Scott
because
Weiland's
nobody.
voice. My
I
God.
I, I think Axel was telling Sorum what to play, how to play, and that's it. Do it this way, or that's it. Because even Izzy said in interviews after he's like, "Yeah, it was a whole different feel when Sorum came in, like totally different." And like he wasn't feeling it. He was like,
Well,
oh,
Matt Sorum was a paid drummer. I think
right.
Adler was like the guy, the jazz guy. He goes, "Let me play this." You know, he was more
Yeah,
free than Sorum was.
right. And I'm not saying, and I don't think Izzy was being disrespectful. He was just like, it's a whole different feel. Also, he wasn't on drugs anymore. And he was like, this ain't working. Even though, folks at home, this is true. Izzy Stradlin wrote better songs on drugs.
So
It's a
did
fact.
Aerosmith. Yeah,
Yes. Sometimes some of those guys need to stay on drugs. This is what I'm saying.
but
Izzy became
I do
John
like all
Mellencamp.
the
Izzy became John Mellencamp light.
this Juju House was horrible.
I
Oh
won't go as far as you saying it's horrible, but it's not GNR. It has no
no,
danger to it. It's because
dude,
you listen to like double
Slash
talking.
and Duff has made better solo albums than Izzy. Well, I don't think
They
Axel
didn't
made a
make
solo
anything.
album, but Chinese
They didn't make
Democracy,
Chinese. Yeah, he did. He made Chinese
that
democracy,
was
and
his
that,
solo album. I think Slash and the Conspirators were Slash's album where he had Ozzy and everybody singing on, or the Snake Pit is better than anything Axel's ever done.
no, Chinese democracy was fantastic.
That first Slash and Snake Pit is really good, dude.
I just like the song with what's her name. That's it,
Yeah, but we don't talk about Izzy and Duff
Fergie.
solo stuff.
Duff's is
Slash is better.
not that great.
Oh
I would
man.
put him over Duff as a solo artist, but not much. And Izzy's is just it's not horrid, it's just kind of boring.
I think he gave up.
But
He hasn't made nothing, all right.
no, I don't know when the last one was. He dropped the Juju Hounds.
Mhm.
He's had a few things, but he's living off appetite and use your illusion royalties. He's
'Cause
happy.
he never sold his stock.
Good. And he doesn't live in Indiana more anymore. I looked it up. He lives in Oregon,
Yeah.
maybe, or maybe out your way.
Oregon's pretty cool though.
He did move from Indiana, but he's just living off his royalties. He's happy.
Yeah. But you know
God
who else
bless him too. God
you know
bless
who
him.
else screwed Vicky Hamilton? Poison, Striper. A lot of good bands.
Striper.
She banded Striper.
Damn.
And Poison, because they all said, well,
Michael
I think we
Sweet,
need a
how do you
male,
live with
we need a male
yourself?
manager. Alan
Yeah.
Niven is a great manager, though. But
He was, and Izzy left the band, and Axel fired him because he was an Izzy guy,
yeah,
and he stayed on with Izzy actually after that, and he managed Great White
yeah.
as well. Um, and that's pretty much what happened. Doug Goldstein or Greenberg, I don't know. I think it's Goldstein was like Alan Niven's assistant
Mhm.
when Alan Niven was fired, and then this Doug guy took over as manager of Guns N' Roses, and he understood the game.
Hmm.
Lick
Listen to
Axel's
Axel.
ass. Yes. Make Axel feel like he is everything. And then the next thing you know, I had Duff and Slash sign over rights to Guns N' Roses to Axel Rose, and that's why he doesn't care how it sounds. We will see
Well, we
if
heard
it
they
comes
they
to
were in the
fruition.
studio making new shit.
I heard that, but Hard School and the other song was a little
Absurd.
disappointing. Absurd. Yeah, a little disappointing. Let's see if it's decent. But yeah, he figured the game out. Let's lick Axel's ass, and you are the star, Axel Rose. I wonder who that reminds you of on the Freeform Rock podcast. You are the star.
Who, me?
Make sure this.
Thank you.
Make sure. Yeah, you're the star. Make sure the star feels happy, and then things happen.
I'll send you that $2 vodka they
But
used to
that's
send
Izzy.
me.
But I still blame Izzy because he left. If he wouldn't have left, that shit wouldn't have happened. No way.
I just think they were too drugged out and didn't know what they had. Just fucking
Except Izzy.
splintered.
Well, Axel wasn't either. Axel did not abuse drugs.
Hmm.
But Slash and Duff, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were gone. And then they turned Sorum on too to drugs. And then you had Dizzy Reed, he don't count. The worst member in the history of the band.
Not that girl. Oh,
No,
because Dizzy got in the Hall of Fame. The girl didn't.
she joined after. But Dizzy fucking Reed. Holy fuck, man. I hate the sound of his piano. Everything bad with that band, I
You ever
blame on him.
do, man. Shit.
I don't care. He can sit down and try to buy me a beer. I'll throw it in his face.
So you
You know
like
I hate you.
who was the guitar player took over for Mizzy?
Initially it was Gilby Clark.
Yeah, Gilby Clark. You don't like any of his solo albums either? I love the song Tijuana Jail.
I don't, I don't have anything against Gilby Clark. I ain't got nothing against him. He's all right.
I love
Nothing.
his solo albums.
Just Dizzy fucking Reed. Fuck
Dizzy's got
him.
some good solo EPs,
Dizzy
man.
Reed? You
He
listen to
does.
his
He has a band. I
solo
forgot the name of him,
album?
but it sounded pretty good.
This is not that bad of a guitar player. You know Button Court, dickhead.
You're
He's
going,
not that bad.
Charles, you're going blah, blah, blah. Your
Why
headphones.
are we from?
Charles, you're going blah. You're like
I see
splintering.
you. I hear you.
Okay, go ahead. What were you saying though?
I was just saying Richard Ford is ain't that bad.
Well, no, he isn't. But
He's stuck. Stuck
Nuno
with
over Richard.
Slash. He got Slash. Of course he's going to step back. He's better than DJ Ashba. Guarantee you that much.
Yeah, DJ Aspa made some EDM. Fuck that shit.
I'll tell you, was as good, maybe not quite as good as Buckethead, but I saw him with Bumblefoot. That's a damn good guitar player
Oh,
too.
Bumblefoot. I think he was into the Daisies also.
He's a really good guitar player. So yeah, but Chinese Democracy had 92 different players on it, so it's hard to gauge who did what. But In the end of the day, Axl wrote those songs, and I liked a lot of them. Better than
Yeah,
Use Your Illusions.
yeah. On that documentary, I Want to Rock, they had John Corabi talking about his time in Motley Crue and shit, and that album and Shout Out the Devil are tied for number one of all time. I wish they
Yeah.
didn't fire him for fucking Generation fucking Stew. That album sucked.
Oh, the worst Motley Crue album
Oh, I don't
by
even
far.
listen. I like one song.
God, that album.
About
I
it.
like Glitter. That's
Yeah, I
it.
like Glitter. I think that's it. But man, but John Corabi watching that documentary, man, pretty cool dude, man. I would support him
Yeah,
on anything he does.
that's why I was like, fuck this band when they fired him. And I don't hate Vince Neil, but I love 94. That's my favorite Motley Crue album.
The
I mean, I love
best.
Shout too, but I love 94 a wee little bit above it. And I was pissed they fired Karate because, oh, it's his fault. It didn't sell. No, you're in the middle of grunge, dudes. That's just the way it goes. There was a lot of hair metal bands that weren't selling a lot. And that's just the way it was in that time frame. They were competing against maybe my favorite STP album ever, Purple. That was out at the same time. Soundgarden, all of these different grunge bands that were firing at full cylinder, just full on great albums. And nobody wanted to hear Motley Crue. I mean, I loved it. I bought it. I loved it. But I mean, you know what I mean, right? I mean, at the
No,
time, it was just the way it was.
I didn't buy it because I was pissed off. Vince was out of the band. I didn't listen to it for 20 years after it came out, and it became like, fuck, this is just as good as Shout. I feel bad not buying it back then because Karabi's like, I love everything Karabi does with Scream, the Union, Motley Crue, Dead Daisies. The guy could
Rat,
just rat. Well, he's a guitar player in Rat, I think,
yeah.
because Dizzy Reed was a singer from Love Hate. But
He's like
fuck,
on a never-ending acoustic tour. I'd love to see it.
yeah, he did the 94 album live with his son on drums. So, and I
I
like
saw
the
that tour. I was one of the fortunate, lucky people to see Motley 94 live.
nice.
And
Yes,
when they say, well, Tommy didn't play drum solos well, but he just played a regular drum solo when I seen him.
that's awesome because I
There
love that.
was no like flying over the crowd, nothing like that. It was great. I mean, because you had John Corabi on rhythm.
He could play guitar. Vincent play guitar on albums, man.
Nick Mars playing lead. No, he can't play shit.
Well, in that
But
documentary, Tommy Lee goes,
Corabi's
this guy comes in with a guitar and starts playing with us. And they go, what? A guitar from our singer? You're like, damn.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they did like shout out the devil playing rhythm and I was pissed that they fired him. I thought he was a scapegoat for their yeah, it didn't sell that great, but it was a fantastic album, and I think they scapegoated him. And then I heard the title track, Generation Swine, and that's all she wrote.
Oh, I think
And I
that's the
never
only
bought a
Motley
Motley
Crue
Crue
album
album.
I
I
don't.
did buy Red, White. I did buy Red, White, and Crew though,
I think Generation
and
Swine is the only album I don't like.
I like that If I Die Tomorrow song on the Red, White, and Crew
Yeah.
compilation. I like that song, but I didn't buy Generation Swine. I didn't buy New Tattoo,
I like New Tattoo.
Saints of LA.
I like that one
No,
too.
I just out of principle because I thought they fucking did Karabi wrong, in my opinion. So this is how I felt, and I still feel that way. Fuck Motley Crue.
Well, they shouldn't be.
And no, Guns N' Roses won't tour with you, Nikki Six. Go out and get. You should try to get like London Choir Boys or something to go out with it. Jerry's band, something
London
like
Choir
that.
Boys. That's hilarious, man.
Go
But
big, go big. Ghost. Gonna open up for them, maybe. Go big them. Axel still don't like Vince, and that's all there is to it.
I
So
bet Tobias would open up for Def Leppard.
they would probably do a dual tour. He's a big Def Leppard fan. I don't think he'd open for him. I think it would be like a dual, you
It's
know.
not
But
gonna
then
happen.
again, Noel opened for Garbage his whole tour in the States, but it wasn't really opening. It was a split bill. They both played, about an hour and a half each. That's, when I saw Kiss with Def Leppard, they closed every show of that tour. But when Kiss did Aerosmith, they had to open for Aerosmith. But is it opening? I mean, you're splitting the bill, so
Felt like Metallica GNR when they
yeah.
did that tour. Yeah.
If I was a band, I would rather do the open slot so I can get the fuck out of there. Bye, see ya. But I don't know. I don't know.
I don't fucking know. I don't know
Yeah,
what.
Ghost
Do
was
you have any
definitely
other topics, Charles,
some
man?
Def Leppard. No, not really, other than Ghost rules.
Ghost Reels? Who told you that? They're lying to you.
Me, me. I can get ghost twattish, as the people will find out on the episode. It'll be coming out in a few weeks. Even more so than Jerry, and I didn't pick the album. That's what's
I'm,
even
I'm,
worse.
I'm laughing throughout the whole episode, so enjoy that. Kind of got,
Yeah, I know.
Charles
It's a
got
little
kind of
annoying.
pissy with me. Sorry. I
Yeah,
was laughing way too much during that episode.
it's okay. It happens. Slightly an elitist.
I am elitist.
Yeah, I'm slightly elitist. So
You are. I'm not.
I admit it. I am. I know what's good. But anyway, to the folks at home, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Very important. Get new notifications of our content. And thank you for watching. And off to you, Mark, so we can close out the show.
I'm just saying, man, like he said, do that. Hit the thumbs up also on the YouTube channel, man, and check out our episodes every week on the Freeform Rock podcast on Podbean or wherever you get podcasts, except Spotify. I don't trust that bitch. But take it easy, man.
Peace.
Peace.